Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to take a little tour, a behind-the-scenes look at where all your favorite apps and games actually come from. We're talking about the AI software factory.
You know when you're playing a game, totally hooked, and you just think, how in the world did they make this? It almost feels like magic, right? Well, it's not magic, but it is a super cool process.
Okay, so the easiest way to think about it is to picture this huge, bustling factory. But here's the twist. Instead of making cars or toys, this place builds software. Yep, every single app on your phone, every program on your computer, it goes through a process a lot like this one.
And you know what every good factory needs, right? An assembly line. In the software world, we have a fancy name for it, CI/CD. It just stands for continuous integration and continuous delivery. All you really need to know is it's like a super fast automated line that takes an idea and turns it into an app you can actually use. Let's check it out.
So every piece of software that gets made travels through these 5 main stations. First up, you've got the design. That's where people write the instructions, the code. Then the factory assembles that code into a real working app. After that, it hits quality control to check for any bugs or problems. If it passes the test, we ship it. We release it out to you. And finally, the team keeps an eye on it, monitoring it to make sure everything's running smoothly.
Now, for the longest time, this whole factory was run completely by people. But not too long ago, a brand new worker showed up on the factory floor. And well, it's changing everything. Meet the new hire, a super smart AI assistant. I want you to picture the friendliest, most helpful little robot you can imagine. Its whole job is to help the human workers at every single stop on this assembly line.
Okay, so what does this little AI helper actually do? I mean, how does it make the factory better? Let's walk down the assembly line, station by station, and see it in action.
All right, first stop, designing the blueprints. So as a developer is writing the code, the AI assistant is right there with them, like a partner. It's checking for mistakes as they happen, and it even helps write the tests for the new features. We call this shift left, because we're moving the testing part all the way to the left to the very beginning of the line. It's kind of like having a buddy who proofreads your homework while you're writing it, not after you've already turned it in.
Okay, next up is the quality check station. And oh man, before AI, this part could be a real pain. Imagine a developer changes one tiny thing, like the color of a button. They'd have to test the entire app all over again. It took forever. But our new AI assistant, it's way smarter. It sees that small change and it knows, hey, I only need to test this one little part. And if a test does fail, it doesn't just throw up its hands and say it's broken. Nope, it points to the exact broken gear, the exact line of code, so the humans can fix it in a snap.
All right, our app passed all the tests with flying colors. It's ready to ship. But wait, how do we release it to the world safely? We use this really clever trick called a canary deployment. And yeah, it's named after the bird. See, way back in the day, coal miners would bring a canary down into the mine with them. If the bird was happy and singing, they knew the air was safe. We basically do the same thing with our software.
So here's how that works. Instead of just pushing the Go button and sending the new app to everybody all at once, we first release it to just a tiny group, maybe just 5% of our users. These are our canaries. Our AI assistant watches this group super carefully for any sign of trouble. If everything looks good and the canaries are happy, awesome. The AI gives the green light and then we release it to everyone else. It's the ultimate safety check before the big launch.
But wait, you didn't think the AI's job was done, did you? Oh no. Once the app is out in the wild, our little robot helper gets a new job. It becomes a 24/7 watchdog, a guardian that literally never sleeps. And this is where we get into this really cool area called AIOps, which is just AI for IT operations.
And this is where things get, well, kind of mind-blowing. The AI is always learning. It remembers every single mistake the factory has ever made, so by looking at new code, it can actually start to predict the future. It might send a warning to the developers that says, hey, just so you know, based on everything I've seen before, this new piece of code you just wrote, it has an 80% chance of causing a problem down the road. That's called fault prediction. How cool is that? So this AI Ops watchdog is on the job all the time. It's looking for weird patterns, like if an app suddenly starts to slow down for no reason. And it gets really good at telling the difference between a real emergency and just, a false alarm. But here's the bottom line. It helps the human team fix problems before they even happen. A lot of the time, they fix things before you, the user, even notice anything was wrong. So let's step back for a second. We have this AI assistant helping out everywhere, and it's constantly learning, constantly getting smarter. So what does that mean for the factory of the future?
Okay, so right now, our AI is an amazing assistant, right?
a real team player. But it's about to get a huge promotion. Pretty soon, it's going to evolve from a helpful assistant into the smart factory manager. So instead of just helping humans, it's going to start making its own smart decisions to keep the whole assembly line running perfectly. It'll be optimizing everything all by itself.
And you know what? That's the real magic here. The whole point of having this super smart AI manager is to let it handle all the repetitive, kind of boring factory work. Why? So it frees up the human developers to do what we do best, get creative, solve really hard problems, and dream up the next big thing. They can focus on inventing, not just watching an assembly line.
So think about it. As AI starts to handle more and more of the boring, everyday stuff, it frees up all this time and brain power for us to just create. And that really leaves us with one big, exciting question to think about. What amazing things will you create?